Welcome to the ATD San Diego chapter's Get Good with Storyline workshop. I'm John Morley, an instructional design and external consultant. So if I can help you with the project, I am going to copy my email address right now and put it in the chat window. That's me. Who are you? Please take a moment to write your name in the chat window, along with where you're calling in from. And if you'd like to network with other participants, including your email, would make that a lot easier. No one knows everything about Storyline, especially me. So this is our opportunity to talk shop and share what we do know. Toward that end, to taking over the entire hour, we are fortunate to have with us Kevin Jorgensen. Kevin is a senior L&D manager with HCL America Incorporated, where he leads the design and development of hard and soft skills training programs, implements new learning technologies, and has established training standards for the entire organization. He's earned a master's degree in learning design and technology from San Diego State University, where he now teaches classes in instructional design and emerging technologies in education. Kevin's been a photographer, video and television producer for entertainment news outlets such as the Hollywood Reporter TV, and all of these things give him a unique perspective on the use of video production processes and technologies in educational design. I will put his email address in the chat window as well. Kevin, would you like to say hi?
Yes, hello everybody, and thank you for joining this evening. It's great to see so many people in the room, and I hope we're going to have some fun tonight playing around with Storyline and Articulate.
Okay.
Oh, one thing I did actually want to ask, or maybe we can get to here shortly, but I did want to really find out what everybody's kind of experience level and what's their access to Storyline right now, because we're going to be trying out some new features, or not new features, but trying out some features of Storyline. And I'd like to know if you have currently access right now on your computer that you're on or near you to Storyline. Do you have it downloaded or an account? So you can put it in chat if you have Storyline and an active account, and we're talking Storyline 360 or Articulate 360.
Okay, who has a sharing account? Oh, I do. Rob. Hi, Rob.
Excellent. Looks like a few people do here, which is fantastic.
Oh, good.
We might be able to play around and test out a few things. There's so tonight we're going to be talking about collaboration tools available in Storyline and the Articulate 360, Rise 360 as well, and how to work with a team. And that's primarily what I do. Is I have a team of developers that we all share a team account in Articulate, and we are always swapping projects and in both Storyline and in Rise 360. And it can be a little challenging at times if you don't know exactly what you're doing, and you can run into the dreaded version duplication, version control problems where you end up producing e-learning materials that are out of date or don't have all the corrections and reviews and comments that maybe your subject matter experts and stakeholders had wanted. And that's been a problem plaguing my group, and we've really had to take some proactive stances and proactive practices in order to overcome that, because even though Storyline and Articulate do provide some great resources, you can get tripped up and end up fall into those sort of those problems. So that's what some of the things we're going to be talking about today, as well as it seems like if everybody has an account, at least a single user account, then great. There is some options. If you do not have an Articulate Storyline account, you can sign up for a free trial, and you can do that tonight. Download it, and you have it for, I believe, 30 days. And I believe that is a team account. So if you signed up for a free trial, you would have access to the team collaboration tools, and we could then I could collaborate with you. But if you have a single user account, John and I were just testing this out beforehand, you wouldn't be able to do that. But if you do upgrade to a team account later on down the line, everything that you're learning tonight will be applicable. And there's even there might be some abilities even with the singular account to do this, but we'll explore some of those shortly. So, John, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
Well, I just wanted to say that for people who were with us last year, I've changed the format a little bit. We felt rushed giving the guest presenter half of the hour, so now guest presenters are going to have the entire hour to make us smarter. So, Kevin, this is all yours. But please allow about 5 minutes at the end because I need to get a photo of everybody.
Oh, yes.
Okay, take it away.
All right.
One more thing. I'm going to go to the Articulate website here and find the link to get the a test thing.
Oh, I think I might have that right here. I happen to have it up on my screen anyways, because I can do a quick walkthrough. There's just articulate.com. So you can click on that link if you don't have Articulate or wanted to open up a trial account. And that's actually what I'm going to show you a little trick you can do if you don't have access to, and for those, I know we're recording, people may be watching this later on and they may not have Articulate. I'm going to show you a little tip on how you can create an Articulate account, a trial version, and continue it for a little bit longer, if not indefinitely, with the trial account. So we'll jump into that. Was there anything else you want to discuss before we really jump into this?
No, sounds good. You seem to have things well in hand. Thank you, Kevin.
All right, great. Well, then let me share my screen real quick. And as I said, I do have Articulate 360 accounts. I've actually got a couple with a few clients in my organization. But just for demonstrating purposes, I'm going to show you how to create a Storyline account or Articulate account, and how you can continue that account off of one email address for longer than the trial period. And it's if you're in dire straits, I mean, when I signed up for the trial account initially with Articulate, I found that 30 days wasn't enough for me to really test it out and get what I wanted out of it. It was just a little taste test, but I wanted to make a full project and see how it works and get all the ins and outs. So I really wanted to find a way to extend it out for a bit longer. So what you can do is when you get onto articulate.com, if you don't have an account, I'm in incognito mode right now, so it's not going to remember any of my previous logins. So I'm just going to start a free trial by typing in my email address. And my email address is kevstormj@gmail.com. Now, here is where the trick is. If you have a Gmail account, this really only happens for Gmail accounts. Luckily, if you Gmail is free, so you can create a Gmail account if you don't have one. But in Gmail has a feature that if you have your email address, like I have here, kevstormj@gmail.com, you can, before the @ symbol, add a plus sign and then type in another name or another something else. And that will then not create a new email. It will still go to your regular email address, but it'll append your email from that source to whatever you put in there. So I'm going to put Articulate, and I'm going to give the number 2 after that, because I've already done this once. This is number 2. And if you might be following along, you might see what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to put my email address as kevstormj plus articulate2@gmail.com. I'm just going to put in a pretty standardized password, put my name in here. And let's say I'm with ATD San Diego. Phone number. There's my business line, so you're welcome to call me if you need me. And I'm going to activate a trial account. Now it's going to send me an email to my regular. Oh, it's not. I have to have at least 8 letters. There we go. Oops. Lowercase. Oops. Always those password requirements.
The bane of everyone's existence in the 21st century. More passwords.
So it is now sending my standard email account, kevstormj@gmail, an email to activate Articulate. And so that activates me for a 30-day trial. Now, once that 30-day trial is up, I can go back and do that again, but just append it with now Articulate 3. And I still get the email back to my regular KevStormJ account. I don't need to create a new email address. And now it is a fresh version of Articulate, but you can then continue off the same email address and give you a little extra time to sign in and work with Articulate. So a little tip there for you. If you wanted to download it and wanted a little bit more than those 30 days, you can use that feature of Gmail and work it with Articulate and extend that out. So when you do download Articulate, you and you have an active account, you usually have to get this signed in. So I'm going to sign in, and this time I'm actually going to sign in with my work account. And I think it might actually already have me signed in. Let's see. And then when it signs in,
what happened? Why'd you stop watching?
Oh, okay. I think you might be talking to somebody else. So when I signed in, I get into my dashboard, and this, I believe, is with my work account. Let me double check to make sure. And I want to show you how to see if you have a team account and who your team members are. So if you go to your profile on here, and yes, I am on my team account for work, you will see you have your profile, all your names and everything, and you have a manage team option here. So if I click here on manage team, it will show you all of your team members that are in your group, and that you can share material with through Storyline and through Rise very easily, because they are part of your group. So anytime that you have a member here, they're part of your team, easy to collaborate. So that's the benefits of a team account. You have all these members, and of course it is a bit more expensive to have a team account. It's normally a corporate thing, but you can do it with your own accounts. You just have to make sure you sign up for a team account. Now, going back to Articulate here, what are the benefits of having that? Oops, let me go back here. Articulate always wants to take you back to that primary page where you are where they're trying to get you to sign back up, even though you're already signed in. And if you're not familiar with Rise 360, Rise 360 is a online Articulate 360 online e-learning development tool. Here's a bunch of course templates that you can use. And if you go to the Rise 360 tab, it'll show you all the active projects that you have in Rise 360. Again, Rise 360 is a kind of lighter version of Storyline, actually quite a bit lighter version of Storyline, but very quick, very easy to develop materials. And here are some materials that I've actually pulled down from the library of content in Rise 360, because they have a variety of kind of off-the-shelf trainings that you can use free of, or well, sort of free, comes included with the Articulate license, that you can use and then and change and modify. So like right now here, how to handle objections, getting customers to say yes. That's an off-the-shelf Rise 360 training module from Articulate that you can use, and I can open that up right now and make changes to it to modify it to meet my specific needs or my organization's specific needs. So I can make changes to this, change the text, whatever you want, and brand it for my organization. But we're here to talk about how to collaborate with our team members. And in Rise, it's really simple. Once you have a Rise project in your kind of dashboard, you will just go up to Share. And in Share, you can invite or you can view collaborators. And here we'll list all the collaborators that are currently with the assigned to that project. And I'm going to assign a collaborator right now. Actually, I have one of my team members that I'm going to be sharing this with. Actually, let me see that's something I make sure I get her email right. So you have to put the email address in, and as long as that email address is a member of your team, they will become a collaborator. And then you can control, and we'll get in this moment here. Let me grab her email. Here we go. And go back here. I'm going to add her to it. And now she is going to be I'm going to invite her to collaborate on this. And now she's going to be a course collaborator. Course collaborators are permitted to make changes and modifications to the training, but they cannot publish. And I don't believe they can send out review versions either. They are strictly people that will work on the material, be able to change it and modify it. Now you can adjust these permissions, basically permissions, and you can adjust your collaborators to be managers. And as a manager, they do of that course, they then have the ability to fully export the course so that it could go into a SCORM file or an XAPI file, wherever you plan to host it. It can export it in that format, and it can also send it for a Review 360 reviews link. So if you're not familiar with Review 360, that is another part of Articulate that allows you to send completed or semi-complete, maybe alpha or beta versions or draft versions of your e-learnings to your project stakeholders and subject matter experts, and even for testing out with the learners. You can give them a sample of the course. In fact, here I'll show you. So I'm going to close this one. I'm sharing it with Jessica, one of my colleagues, and I'm going to then go to the review on this. And actually, we'll say this: publish to review. See, publish to Review 360. And so I'm going to hit publish to Review 360. And again, this is the off-the-shelf Articulate course, but this will work for any course that you develop in Rise 360. And so it is now published to Review 360. I will click on that button and take us over to Review 360. And now it is a fully published course for people to use, but it may not be, of course, on your LMS or however you finally deploy it. It's on here so that you can review it and add comments. So you can start the course, do the course just as you would as a normal learner of the course, and add comments wherever it's necessary. Like, let's say I see, oh, meet Carolyn. Oh, I don't want to use the name Carolyn. So replace Carolyn's name with Rebecca. There we go. I can put that comment in there, and it's posted there. The managers of the course will be notified that a new comment has been added, and they can go and make changes to it. So that's a way to collaborate with your stakeholders, subject matter experts, and other people that you may want to have access to the training during its developmental stages. And you would share it with them just by providing them a link. Here's the link. Copy and paste that link. Oops. Copy and paste that link, send it to them via email. They do not need an Articulate account. They do not need to have paid for Articulate. It can be anybody. So you can send it to your friends. Hey, check out this new course. Or I have students that are creating portfolios for employment or instructional design portfolios. And sometimes they will just use the Rise 360 link as part of their portfolio if they don't have a place to host their content. So that does work. And of course, you can set a password to do that. But yeah, that's how you can then collaborate with your review experts, your subject matter experts, but then also collaborate with your team using Rise. So any change, and that is real-time live collaboration. So you can be working in that project at the exact same time, and you will see where they're making updates, making changes, and they'll see your changes at the same time. So if you're having a working session over Zoom or Teams or wherever, and you can be talking and working on it at the same time, and so that makes a really effective collaborative working environment.
What happens if you're trying to change the same thing as your collaborator?
It's a good question. I actually haven't run into that issue personally, but in other systems, like something like the Google collaboration tools, if there's some kind of issue, I mean, it happens in real time, so you'll see what someone's doing, and you'll have like the little cursors and things like that, so you see what they're doing. But if there is some kind of lag issue, then that's a good thing to test. I haven't experienced that. It may give you some type of warning and saying, hey, which change would you like, and keep both versions. And that's another thing. You can revert to other versions in here, I believe. And so if you do make changes, you can go back and revert that back to them. Any other questions regarding Rise 360 and its collaboration before we jump into the storyline aspects?
Well, the versions is a function of the review system, isn't it? Or is there a different review manager?
There is a versions in the review. So if you do have, like, let's say you do your first round of review in Review 360, you get your comments and you go and resolve those comments, make those changes. Then you can upload to Review 360 again. In fact, let's go to that right now. I can show you how, in some of my work projects, how we've used that functionality. Let's see here. Oh wait, I'm sorry. This is Rise 360. This is actually storyline projects that I can show you that feature, but it functions the same way. Let's see. Go down here. Let's take a look at the emotional intelligence. Developed a course on emotional intelligence not too long ago. Here we go. And so this was designed in Storyline, but it would work the same way in Rise. So this is a fully functional e-learning, as I said before. And there are these different versions here. Actually, we got 15 different versions here. And on some of the versions, there's comments and feedback. And you can always revert back and see what comments have been made by other people in those previous versions. So that is possible in Rise, or sorry, in Review 360. And in Rise, I believe it has something similar, but it doesn't work exactly the same way. I haven't actually experimented with that one too much. But if there are changes to it, so you can show comments, results in disable comments, feedback. Oh, this is a review. So yeah, you can have current version there. But yeah, you can go in. Let me go to a project in Rise and see how we can do that. And these are all fairly new courses, so we have not had a lot of changes to them recently, so or at all. So we may not be able to see any reversions.
All right, Kevin, can we experiment later and see if you can add somebody else to your team who is not in your organization?
Yeah, you want to do that right now, you said?
Yeah. I believe we have some other people on the call here who do have the full-blown version.
Excellent. Okay, yeah, well then, yeah, somebody want to give me an email address, or so let me get the chat open, and I can get an email address of someone that has a full version, and I'll see if I can share it with you. And when you're outside my team.
Any volunteers with a full version? Yeah, Rob, do you have a full version?
Yeah, I'd be happy to help. Let me drop my my email in right now.
Okay.
Perfect. There you go. All right, I'm going to invite you to this one. Ah, excellent! It did work. Before, when we tried it with I tried it with John's just before our before we started, and since he did not have the Teams version, it did not work.
Huh.
It said, "Oh, not a team player there, John."
Well, I'll take up a collection later to see if I can buy the full-blown thing.
So I'm glad we were able to test that out, Rob, because I've been very curious about that. I have my team, my team of 12 developers, and we've been sharing stuff, but I haven't shared it with anybody outside of my team. So now that proves it. We can do it. We can do it in Rise. So if you go ahead into your Articulate 360 account, open up Rise, you should be able to see this how to handle objections training there. And do you have it open now?
It's right there. It's at the top of the list.
Excellent. Well, hey, let's go in and play around with how the change features work then, huh?
Okay.
So I've got it open. Let's see if I can. Yep, I can make some changes right here.
Okay, and I just opened it up as well.
Rob is a great guy and helps out a lot. There we go. See if you can delete that, Rob, because we know it's not true, right?
All right. And so I'm deleting right now. And so when you were typing, just as you said, Kevin, I was able to see your initials popped up next to that block. Mm-hmm. And so I saw that you were in there with your initials, and I could see the typing that you were doing in real time. It just wouldn't let me type in that block at the same time.
Okay, so that's the protection it has. That's the protection it has. I knew it was something like that. So excellent. That's good to know. All right, we're all learning something here.
That's comprehensive. So unless you, it looks as if even if you want to cause trouble, it will not let you do that.
And isn't that what we're all here to do, though? Cause a little trouble.
Yeah, trouble's fun.
So I do want to jump into Storyline, because Storyline's going to have some little more stickier features when it comes to collaboration. But before we jump too far away, too quick on this, does anybody have any other questions about collaborating in Rise 360 projects? If you think of something, you'll mention it in chat or bring it up at the end. We'll spend some more time at the end and talk about it. But thank you very much, Rob, for your help on that. All right, so next what we'll do is I'm going to bring up Articulate 360. I'm sorry, Storyline 360. We always use these terms so synonymously, it seems. It's like, oh, I'm using Articulate. Well, what exactly are you using Articulate? Oh, I'm using Storyline. Okay, which version? Actually, I've recently, and then this may be a topic for a future SIG, a tech SIG, is the sometimes forgotten presenter 360, the Studio 360 in Articulate. Those are plugins to PowerPoint to change your PowerPoints into e-learning. And now, normally with Storyline, you can import PowerPoints into Storyline and convert them to e-learning that way. But if you've ever done that, and maybe John, you can speak to this, that could be a real pain sometimes to update a PowerPoint into Storyline. It just doesn't transfer real well. There's a lot of oddities with it. But with a Storyline plugin to PowerPoint, it makes that process much easier because you still have the functionality of everything in PowerPoint, just with the few added features that make it an e-learning course. So such as creating quizzes, doing special interactions, e-learning style interactions, as well as publishing to SCORM and XAPI formats.
Yeah, I've spent hours this week doing exactly that, importing my client did the source material in PowerPoint, and I just pull it into Storyline. It's a great feature, but as you said, you have to go in then and just manually reformat every single thing.
Mm-hmm. And me and my team, we get most of our training or most of our source content from PowerPoint PowerPoints. We've got a subject matter expert that just does a brain dump onto a PowerPoint, or even a partial designer from a client will give me some PowerPoint, or they had a course they want to convert to e-learning, and it's all just PowerPoint. And when my team and I have had to transfer that over to e-learning using Storyline, it's created a much bigger workload. So we're now transferring over to using those tools in Studio 360 to make it much quicker, because when it comes, we don't have the luxury of time. We'll get projects and have to get them out the door in like a day or two. So we can't fiddle around with those oddities. So here is, of course, Storyline 360, the standard Storyline. I have just opened up a project, the Emotional Intelligence Training Program that I created not too long ago. And it may look very familiar how it's all formatted here with the different tabs up here representing each of the scenes. Now, if I wanted to share, and I say I have my team and I wanted to share, in fact, we did this with my team. Somebody had created a great introduction or how to navigate this e-learning slide. And they had it and they wanted to share it with the rest of the team. And so what they did is they just uploaded that single slide to the team's slide area for our whole team to access. And so we go into, and to do that, we go to slides and we go to team slides up here and we share either this project, the scene, or selected slide. And if I wanted to share this particular slide, I just select that one. And then it would, I think it's going to ask me, where do I want to put this? And I can put it into a folder in my team. So I have all these different folders here. I'll put it, let's say, into the, I just put it in the none, because this is actually just a single slide about how to navigate e-learning. So I can put it there and it's going to be a new project. So I'm just going to name this how to navigate this e-learning slide, and add it. And now when I add it, is uploading just that individual slide to the team slide. And so now if one of my team members wanted to pull down that single slide and put it into their own project, they can do that. So it just said, okay, we're successfully updated it. Now, let's say I'm working on another project, or let me just jump to a different scene and we'll use this kind of as an example. All right, go back up here. I think this is the first slide of this particular scene. And let's say I wanted to add that slide into that navigation slide into this scene for some reason, just as an example. So I'll go to team slide, or so just click on the team slide icon there, and it'll bring up a window for me to find that particular slide. And here's a bunch of projects we've worked on. We're kind of got to clean this up a little bit, but here's that slide. how to navigate this e-learning. And it even says from me, it was updated on January 18th, which is today. It's a single slide. And so I'm going to insert that slide. Now I've just inserted that individual slide into my project and can now use it. So if you have in your team or group a slide that you need to share with everybody, it might be, a legal notice or a great results slide that shows after a quiz that says, hey, you've just passed, or it has some very specific text that you need to have with your whole team, you can do that here with a single slide. I see, John, you have your microphone.
Does this go across projects, or is this specific to this one project, the team slides?
Oh, no, it's across any project.
Oh,
in
cool.
fact, I can close out this project, and I'm not going to save it because I don't want to make changes to this project. I can close out this project, just open a brand new project, and I know, hey, I'm going to need that how to navigate slide. So here's a brand new project. I'm going to go to my slides, team slides, click on the icon, and bring down that individual slide. And it'll populate into this scene, and now I have it. And that's basically like a repository for projects in that team slide. So any changes I make to this slide here now do not impact that one that's up in the teams. And that's going to be a very important point as we start going even deeper into this. This is just really the first level of collaborating in Storyline. So if, let's say, I get this slide and I'm like, oh, this slide is great. I love it. It really tells the learners, but you know what? One thing it's missing, and let me zoom in here so you can all see. One thing it's missing is the seeker bar. We're using seeker bars in our e-learning, and it doesn't have a seeker bar here. Normally, that's right there in the module where a user can then click on the seeker bar, see the progress and everything. It's not there, so we're not giving them that instruction. So I want to add that seeker bar into there. So I would grab another screenshot, create this slide, and then I would go and update that other slide, that how to navigate this e-learning slide, by replacing it. And that's where things can get a little sticky, and you can get into version control issues, because let's say I did change it. I'm not going to spend the time doing it right now. I'm just going to make a slight change to this by adding another box so we can tell that this is a different one here. I'll just put a box right there. Actually, I'll put it right here. Let's just say the seeker bar is right here. So so let's say there's a seeker bar there with directions on how to use it. Now I'm going to upload that, share this selected slide. And this time I can either upload it as a new project or have it replace an existing project. And I'm going to go and find that that how to navigate this e-learning slide. Here we go. I already have one. I have two up there right now. And I can click on that, replace the existing one, and now it replaces it. And that old one is gone. We now have this new one so that everybody will access in the same place. So you can update those team slides just like that. Any questions? Yes, oh yeah.
Yeah, are there advantages to? I know you're able to import slides from other projects. What are the advantages over using the team slides as opposed to bringing in a slide from another project?
What do you mean? Oh, you mean having like the project file, like just importing from a project file?
Yeah, exactly.
So the benefits here are that you don't need to transfer the actual project file via email or any other way. It's automatically in the team slide cloud environment. So you don't have to worry about handling or sending those data files between the team members. It's all there in the cloud. And it's particularly important when you're working with clients that may have IT security issues. That's what I do. In my company, we're a business partnering organization with our client, which is Direct Energy, a Canadian or a Houston-based utilities company serving Canadian customers. And we're two different organizations, but we are working as one. But since we're two different organizations, there's a lot of IT issues that prevent us from sending large files. So if I had a really large project that I needed to send over to them, I'm not going to be able to, and for their designers to work on. But get through team slides, you can, because it's not being sent directly. It's being sent through the Storyline and Articulate 360 cloud-based team network. And usually that gets past IT security when you get it approved by your organization. So it's a way to do it where you don't need to transfer those via email or any other method. It makes it very convenient and also integrated in Storyline. So if you wanted just to pull that single slide down quick and easy, you can do it at any time. You can, send a message to a colleague like, hey, can you update that slide for me, or update? And this is particularly important on large projects where you might separate the different scenes and different sections of an e-learning across multiple designers and then have to bring them all together in one. You can have designer 1 working on scene 1, designer 2 working on scene 2, designer 3 working on slide 3, and then you could be the centralized senior developer that goes and takes all those and put those in one place, and they'll share them with you scene by scene, which is really the next step of this collaborative and sharing process. So you can go and also share this entire scene. So just like sharing a slide, it's sharing the entire scene. So does that answer your question, John?
Oh, yeah, that sounds very handy. Particularly if the project from which you want to download a slide is somewhere else on some other server on somebody else's computer, you don't have access to it, where here everybody has access to whatever's in the team files all the time.
Yeah, and another really important thing is that people come and go in organizations, and I know Rob. Rob and I have been touch base. Rob is looking for some designers right now. Yes. I hope you don't mind me mentioning it.
Not at all. No, that'd be great. Thank you.
And my team, we just had, due to a corporate restructuring, we've just had a few of our developers that are getting reallocated, and we're trying to find a position for them within our organization. But right now they're technically on the bench. And so we have some little bit of churn going on with our developers, and I'm hoping those developers are going to be able to find a space with you, Rob, but crossing my fingers for them. And they're great. They're great, great developers. But what I was going to say is that with that kind of churn in an organization where developers can come and go, when they leave, and I've been consulting with another company that had this problem. They had a few developers and they left. And when they left, all the project files that were on their local computers left with them. They're gone. We're having trouble hunting them down. We're talking to IT to pull down their drives out of the cloud or out of the security system, and it's been a real pain. But if you have your developers working out of Teams and uploading their projects to Teams at certain junctions, at beta review points and things like that, and gold reviews and finals and things like that, then the whole team has access to them, and you don't have to worry about a developer leaving and taking all that hard work with them. So that's another big benefit. Now, I want to go into where things get really sticky with this format of team collaboration and Storyline, and that has to do with sharing everything we kind of talked about, but particularly with sharing full projects. Okay, let's say I have it, and just like we just talked about, where a developer had left, they uploaded their entire project up to the team slides, collaborative slides there, in this button right here. And let's say I had a developer and they left, and here is a course on elderly customers, handling with care. And so let's say I have to take over that project. So I will select, okay, here's the project. I'm going to go ahead and insert these slides. I'm going to have to start, actually, hold on. Let me start from scratch here. So we're not cutting out. Actually, I'll just delete this slide. There we go. So I'm starting basically from a fresh new project, and I'm going to import that project. Actually, I'm going to do one even better, because this one I know has issues. Is a good example of it. Let's see, the high bill. Here we go. This one's not high bill. This is the billing workbooks. Here we go. This is a biggie. So this is a 30. Actually, I'm going to get the 50 slide deck here, Storyline. So boom, I'm importing it in. All of those slides have now been brought into this project, and great, I can start working on it. Everything's fantastic. Oh, I think I might have made a mistake. A big one. It might take a little while. But here's where things get sticky, and we'll see in just a moment as it downloads. When you import from Team Slides with a project already open, it will import those slides as individual slides in the scene you currently have. or it'll make a single scene with all of those slides in it. It doesn't matter how that project was arranged in multiple scenes and with the connectivity between each of the slides. So as we know in Storyline, you can create non-linear e-learnings where the user has control to jump around wherever they want. And usually in creating that, you have, it's not this, just standard down the line. You can have multiple scenes or jumping around or slides like that. And if you bring that into just those slides into a project, it's going to lose. Here we go. This project was originally created as separate scenes. But since I imported them all into my new project, it brought all those slides into one single scene, and it has made a complete mess of it. We've lost, like, each one of these rows here is supposed to be a scene, but it imported them all as separate slides. And so this is a complete malfunction of how it should work. In fact, let me open up that project as new, and you can kind of see, let's see if I can open up, it's one of the issues with see if it's going to allow me to open up a new version of Storyline. Sometimes when you try, oh, good, it is. So that is a big hindrance there. If you just go and bring those slides down, it'll just going to pop them in there as individual slides and not as scenes, and you're going to lose all that interconnectivity that you may have done. All those triggers, when you click this button, it'll take you to scene or slide 5.4, but if you hit next, it'll go to 3.3. Those sorts of things will all break if you import like that. So the way in which you import a whole project to work on again is, let me bring this over on this side. So I just open up a new version of Storyline, brand new Storyline. I am not going to hit new project. I am going to hit team slide. And when I hit team slides, it'll take me to that same screen that we just looked at. But this time I'm going to select a smaller one this time because I think I made a mistake in bringing the big one. So I'll bring the 35 slide one. It is now downloading the entire project which includes all of the scenes in how you arrange them. And there's another point I actually forgot to mention. It also is downloading your player choices. So if you've got specific design functions in your player, and by player, I mean this, and you see already, it's got all the scenes set up correctly. And so let me see, where is the player? It's probably coming up on my other screen here. Here we go. So here is the Storyline player. And since I downloaded this project, it is inherited all of the player choices that project had. So what we like to do is normally in a standard new project, you don't have the previous buttons, say previous and next. It's just a little arrow. We changed to have previous on there because I think it's more descriptive for the users. Also the menu, we have the menu design in a very specific fashion. That you're going to lose that if you do that. In fact, let's go back over to that other Storyline. And you'll see if I open up the player, those features aren't chosen. Those features aren't going to be there. You're losing all of those features. This is kind of standard. Even though it was the same slides I pulled down, it didn't pull down the project choices. So look, the slides, some of them are named untitled. There's no it doesn't say next or anything like that. Probably this menu is a mess. It is a total mess. So that is one of the problems that you're going to have to watch out for when using team slides and collaboration slides, is that you pull down, if you're going to pull down the entire project, pull it down as new without having a project open. And so that way you inherit the project choices that were made, the project selections that were made. And then conversely, let's say, actually, let me go open up. So this is a complete mess. This is basically the same format. This should look like this, but since I pulled it down incorrectly, it didn't work. So pull it down like that, collaborate like that, and then you can, then it'll function better. Now, let's say I do make changes to this and I need to re-update the project file. I would do it just like I would with the project slide. I made changes to it. Let's say, go to the team slide. Oops, I'm sorry, I actually did the wrong thing. Go to the pull down here and say share project, and it'll give me the options to replace the existing project. So I'll select replace an existing project. select that project, whatever it was. I think it was the billing workbook. I forget which one it was. And then boom, I can replace that project. And that's going to be particularly important because if you have multiple people working on a project together, if you do not update the one that you pulled it down from and you expect another team member to work on it, they could be working off of the wrong one if you don't update it. And I've had that happen before. I asked one of my developers, hey, can you work on this particular scene? They did, and then they didn't update the team slide version. They didn't replace it. So when I got to it to do some finishing touches, I pulled down and started working off of the one that none of the previous developers' changes were reflected. So it ended up, we had to do a reconciliation. And there's one thing where this is probably one of the worst things that a designer or as a developer and designer you could do is go slide by slide to see what changes occurred and reconcile changes, reading every bit of text, checking all of the triggers. Oh, that's a pain. That's a pain. So don't put yourself into that position. So any questions regarding this? And we're about 10 minutes until we're ending, I think. We had until 6:30, right?
That is correct. And like the last 5 minutes or so to say goodbye and get a picture. I need a picture of everybody here. Now, what I'm hearing is that you don't want to pull down an entire project. If you want a project, it has to be somewhere other than the team slides area. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct. It's how you pull that project down is where you have to be careful. You do not want to pull a project down into an existing project if you want that entire project, all the project choices in it, because it's then going to inherit whatever existing project you have as it's pulled down. So the preferred method, if you want to pull down a whole project, is close whatever project you have open. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to save anything here, and go here to the team slides and pull down the full project from that.
Okay, start from a blank slate.
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
Got it. Thank you.
I have a question, Kevin. This is Jody, and this isn't a technical question. It's kind of like a process, project management question. Mm-hmm. If you have, like, say, 3 different designers working on, 3 different scenes, or even 3 separate, let's say, separate chapters of something. Mm-hmm. What's the mechanism or the process you use to make sure that everybody's got the same design standards and the same font? Do you have like a quarterback who goes through each one and then make sure that, everything looks consistent, or how does that work?
Yes, partially. But it's really where the templates that we use to start everything off on, and which we use team slides to do that. We created a template, a standardized template that all of our developers use. So whenever they start a new project, they pull down those template slides out of Teams and start their project from that. So that way they have the same theme, all the color choices, the fonts are all the same. We do give a little bit of leeway when it comes to graphics. They can pull down their own graphics, but that's exactly what happened in this project. So I was the one that initiated this project, and I began by creating the introduction slide, creating the different scenes, but I did not add, like, each of these scenes. Jump into it here, is about some billing questions for our call center agents. It's a workbook for them to figure out how to read bills and provide information to the customers. So all I knew in each of these scenes is that what the topic was going to be, and the difficulty level, and this star reflects the difficulty level, and this is a simple one. So that's all I knew. I didn't know what the content was. I relied upon my developers to add that. So what I did is I created the basics, and then I gave them each the project files, and it said, hey, go ahead and develop out your scene. So I assigned scene 2 to one, scene 3 to another. Actually, I just had 2 developers, so I think I gave them each 2 scenes. They went ahead and developed out those scenes, and then uploaded them to the team slides, and then I just downloaded those scenes into my master and brought it all together. And so that way I knew everybody was working off the same plate. In fact, I even created a couple examples for them of these slides to say, hey, just follow the same format. Just change the character, change your questions, make sure that the questions in all of the bill layers are correct. So they added all this content, but I gave them a template to start from, and then they jumped off of that. If there were any questions, like, oh, I got a strange situation. I think one of my developers is like, this particular question requires multiple bills to be looked at. How do I do that? You only have your template for one bill. And I'm like, oh, okay, we worked together and we figured something out. But that is how we use those team slides in order to separate, divide and conquer a large project. And it worked out fantastic. But when it comes to, in fact, I'm going to close out this project and show you that we have a base template of slides that all projects start from in Teams. So when a developer starts a project, they're not hitting new project. They're going to the templates. Let's see, this is updated slide. Where is it? Slide 3. Navigate. Maybe it was this one. I haven't worked in it in a while. I think some changes have happened, but maybe it's this. But they can pull down the template version that everybody works off of, and it kind of gives them a starting point. And so they can then just add new slides. Let's see. Yeah, here's all the different slide formats in this template that are built in. It's kind of like master slides in this. So here we go, and I'm like, oh, okay, this particular scene is going to be a one with a topic subtopic. And then we're all working off the same, making sure there's standards and consistencies amongst the colors and everything.
But they're really filling in forms then, pretty much then, because you have it all set up, right? So
they are filling in kind of the forms, but there's still a lot. There's still a lot of gaps. They have to choose their own graphics. They have to create the triggers and the state-based effects and things like that. This is just, we have our branding requirements for colors and things. So that's how we control that. But then after the fact, to answer your questions, we do have a review cycle that does look for those things for maintaining consistency, because developers will go off on their own. I've seen developers do Google image searches and pull down copyrighted images or images that have watermarks on them. And that's a big no-no to me. I don't want to see watermarked images. There's plenty of free media sources out there now. So we do a sanity check for that during the review process. And we even do a user experience check as well. So we're looking for technical issues, making sure the buttons are working correctly, and that the designers didn't create a situation in which there's a confusing interface. So yeah, we have all those sanity checks.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, could we start wrapping it up here, Kevin?
Yes, absolutely.
So next week, I'm very glad that we have Yvonne with us, because next month we're going to be talking about accessibility, and we have Joe Paddington, who heads up this sort of thing for the State of Washington agency. So he'll be talking with us, and Yvonne is knowledgeable in that subject. So if you could possibly join us next month, Yvonne, that would be fine. So at this point, thank you all for joining us. I am happy to see you, and please come back. We are now the third Wednesday in a month rather than the third Tuesday, but that's what we will try to maintain the rest of the year. Any parting comments?
That was great. Thank you.
That was super helpful.
Kevin.
Definitely helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Great job.
Thank you.
Certainly appreciate it.
My pleasure.